weep, guana weep, ninny buongiorno everybody. How you all doing? Hope you're keeping safe out there. Today I'm having a look at Studio Series 86 Voyager class Ger. A really nice figure that might have got me back into buying Transformers again after a few months off. but more on that in a bit. I picked this fine figure up from the great folks over at Comics and Cocktails. If you've watched any of my videos, you know I really like this store. They have free UK shipping, really great prices on stuff, great customer service, highly recommended. Now, if you have seen my videos, you also know I like to go into the backstory of the character a little bit, and this will be no exception. Just a bit of a truncated version. Ger first appeared in the 1986 The Transformers the movie. He was the leader of a sort of semi-barbarian race of Cybertronians / Transformers from the planet Junkion, the Junkions actually, and he was a really memorable and fun character. Actually, to be fair, they all were. The Junkions were effectively a race of Transformers who built their bodies out of the junk and scrap that they found on the planet Junkion, and as such they were near indestructible barbarians who really coolly, like all the ones you see, transformed into motorbikes. So you'd have one transformed into a giant motorbike and the other one riding them, which was really cool. And they started off the film as sort of like something that the protagonists had to get past. They weren't really antagonists, they were just more like chaotic neutral characters. But that all got sorted out eventually, and they joined in with the final battle, which was really cool. In the movie, he was voiced by the great Eric Idle from Monty Python fame, and throughout the movie he spoke in, well, excerpts and snippets from TV programmes, because most of the Junkion's language and society was based on TV signals from Earth they'd picked up over the years, so that was actually kind of cool. Yeah, I like that. When the movie came out, of course, there was a toy created. I never owned this toy, but it was, I'll throw an image up now, interesting. He looked okay. I mean, it was based on the movie design, rather than what was usually the method of the cartoon designs being based on the toys. So they have to try and make his movie design fit. It's okay, it's very weirdly proportioned, but it doesn't look too bad. In recent years, like, he's appeared in a lot of other media over the years, like Transformers Animated. He's had multiple toy appearances, but none of them really spoke to me as much as he did as his movie appearance did. Except for like in the last couple of years, he appeared in the tail end of the first IDW Transformers universe. He and the rest of the Junkions came to Earth with an army of Sharkticons, and probably one of my favourite characters from the end of IDW, Ramage, his quote-unquote wife, who really needs an action figure making. I mean, like, I put a post up on my Twitter a couple of days ago saying, like, she really needs a figure making. I think loads of female Transformers need decent figures making. I'll throw a link in the description to my Twitter if you want to just like and retweet that tweet just to get a bit more attention on it. But anyway, yeah, that's just a quick background story of Ger. Fun character, little weird, but likeable. And this figure is definitely likeable. Here it isn't just its base robot mode with nothing added to it. It's a really great figure. The proportions are brilliant. He looks exactly like he did in the movie and when he appeared in the third series of the show, of course. Everything's great. There's no like really like obtrusive kibble. Yeah, the handlebars on the back, but I can let them go. The spikes in his arms and his knees, they're actually show accurate, which is cool. I just really like him. He's got this brilliant head sculpt with the moustache and little goatee beard. Well, I said little, long moustache and long goatee beard flapping in the wind. They look great, and the figure's articulated really well as well. It has actually pretty much all the articulation you expect, plus a few extra bits. Like he's got a diaphragm joint that tilts forward. That's great. He has universal shoulders. In fact, when you raise the shoulders, it reveals this little extra detail that fills in the gap it would leave behind. That's really good. Elbows, elbows, wrist joints that go both the swivel joints and with transformation in and out, which is really cool for really handy for when he wields weapons. Waist joint, universal hip joints, knees, ankles that go forwards and backwards, also have rockers on the bottom. Even his like satchels in the back, they articulate so they get out of the way of his legs when you use them. That's really good. And yeah, it looks really, really nice. As far as accessories go, he comes with a few. First up are his, well, wheels. He's a bit of a parts former, but Junkions were meant to be parts formers, so it's really fine with him. You can stick them on either his forearms or his knees, but like following the show and movie character designs, they should be both on his left-hand side. It looks good with them. They work well as a shield and really add to the sort of semi-chaotic nature of him. Really good. The other accessory he comes with is his pinwheel axe. Another one from the show and the movie. He looks really great holding it, and it actually freely spins, which is a nice thing to have. And you can store it on the back if you want. There's a little peg on it that'll just peg into a port in his back. It's not the strongest of connections, it does tend to pop off quite easily, but just having it there on the back for storage, it works. Now, unlike a lot of recent figures, he doesn't have any like impact pimples. Those things you can attach, like Siege or Earthrise, or actually, I don't had any in Kingdom. Siege or Siege or Earthrise. That's hard to say for some reason. Blast effects on, but you can sort of like stick them on the end of the spikes, and he has got two 5mm ports on each leg. You can stick them on there if you want as a bit of an impact. Kind of works. He does also have those 5mm pegs under his feet, so if you want, you could put blast effects under his feet to have him flying around in space. It actually does look kind of cool. It's very silly, but you know, it's something you can do. What is actually really cool is the tip of his like pinwheel axe as a port you can put the blast effects on, which is really good because in the show you'd occasionally see the Junkions using like axe weapons like this. They'd kind of like point them at their enemies and lasers would fire at the end. And you can do it here, and actually I really like the look of it. It looks nice. And yeah, that's it for the stuff he comes with, which is kind of a shame because I really wish he had more 5mm ports. Because like you can put a few things on him, you can give him other weapons, say, and use those leg ports, and if you fold his hands back in, they do put like a 5mm port under the forearm, which is usable, but I kind of wish maybe I'd want two others. And like the biggest thing I think that he's missing is, as a Junkion, you should be able to like take his arms, his legs off like a weaponizer or a modulator. Because like the Junkions came apart all the time and put themselves back together. That's kind of their thing, and the fact you can't do it with this figure is a little bit of a letdown. And I don't really see why they couldn't just change some of these mushroom pegs for just 5mm pegs, or the same sort of pegs they did with a Studio Series Cup's arms and legs. And it really works. It's the only letdown I think when it comes to this figure in robot mode. Actually, it's really the only letdown overall. And yeah, okay, so let me just do a few comparisons with other figures in my collection. Up first, a bit of a small deluxe figure. Here he is with Earthrise Cliff Jumper. It's a big size difference between the two, and I don't think the two have actually appeared on the show together. But yeah, Cliff Jumper looks really tiny next to him. Here he is next to another small deluxe class Transformer. They're actually bigger than Cliff Jumper. Here's the Studio Series 86 and all. The two look really good together. This actually does seem to be the size that they appeared when they... This does appear to be the correct scale between the two of them. If you look at how they appeared in the show together and in their IDW comic book appearances together, this works. Here he is next to another Voyager class, a leader class figure in Optimus Prime, the Earthrise version, though the actual Optimus Prime figure itself is Voyager size. The two look really good together. And okay, so let me get him into his vehicle mode. His vehicle mode is in fact a very 1980s looking motorbike. I really like the look of it. It's very, very accurate to the movie. This looks like a junkily made touring bike, and I really like it. It's got a character. But it hasn't got as many like in robot mode, you can't really do much when it comes to like effects and things. You can stick them on those same ports you could in robot mode, which kind of make it look like it's been hit to the side when it's driving around, but I liked if those little gun ports that turn into his articulated nipples. I was trying to avoid mentioning them, but yes, he does have articulated nipples. You can't put blast effects on them, and that's a real shame. They could have really done with it. Yeah, so that's the other problem. The other letdown I think there's more is you can't put blast effects on those guns. But apart from that, it looks really nice, and like in robot mode, you can store the axe on the back, and it still doesn't seem to stick in very well and tends to fall off at a moment's notice. But you know what's actually really, really cool? He's a functioning motorbike for you with the Transformers. Look, here he is with the Earthrise Optimus Prime on him, and he looks really good on him. He can get a decent hold of the handlebars, you can sit him on, it looks cool. Here he is with a smaller Transformer, here he is, the Cliff Jumper, put him on there. He fits, he looks good. Here he is with just a random Transformer I had in my collection, which is, I think, basically the Titan's Return cup mould. That kind of works, apart from those chunky legs not really sitting right. Here he is, probably my favourite one to have on him at the moment, the Studio Series Nor. Something about having this little chubby guy on him just looks really funny. I kind of like it. In fact, I actually really like just sticking like a stand with him and just having him trick riding the bike or have it look like it's falling through the sky. They just look really good all together. I really do like them. And yeah, that's it as far as you can do, like having a figure. Well, really, like, if you could have anything, you should really get 2 of these things because you need a bike for him to ride. I know we are getting a remold of him in a few months as a separate junkyard, but like, if you've got the money to spare, maybe get a second one. I can't really imagine anyone being silly enough to actually oh crap. Yeah, I did go and get a second one because he needs to be on a bike. And he looks good on it. If a little too big, it's kind of weird that I can't quite figure out how to get his legs to sit on there perfectly. Like where they are now works. He looks really good on there. And I can't wait to see what he's like on the other junkyard that comes out. I think it's Scrap Heap or Junkyard they're doing. What I'll probably do is I'll buy 2 of that one as well and have 2 stock, and then the other 2 of each I'll swap parts, so I end up with like 4 unique junkyards, hopefully. But as you can see, he looks really cool riding on this, and it's really nice. It really sets the character off having him on the bike. And yeah, that's it. I think he looks amazing. Well, okay, yeah, folks, that's it for the review. I'm sorry it's not a particularly long review or anything. This is a great figure, and I highly recommend you get it. If you can find one, pick him up. You can get them from most online retailers like Kapow, Comics and Cocktails of Demand. Smith's Toy Store has them in. The one by me had like 6 or 7 of them in, so there's no shortage of them at the moment. So if you want to get one, actually get 2. Yeah, if you want to get one and you've got the money, get a second to go with it, because I think he looks really good riding on another junkyard. Well, that's it, folks. I hope you liked the review. If you did, please leave a like, leave a comment, and if you've not subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. And until next time, I want you all to stay safe, stay sane, and keep on rolling. And I'll see you all next time. Ta-da!